I love that word right there. Impress them on your children. Notice it didn't say preach them at your children. It didn't say that, right? Impress them on your children. See, that's an interesting picture, this idea of an impression. I mean, I'm sure you've seen what that would be like. Yeah, you know, I think a greatest example for me would be a seal made of wax. And you have this wax and you get it hot, and then you put this seal on it. And what happens is this thing that you're placing on it becomes fixed inside of this seal of wax. And when you look at it, you can see it. Why? Because its impression is upon it. If you're part of a family, and if you have kids, we're called to put an impression on our kids. Not to preach at them, but to allow them to see such an example in our lives that it becomes part of who they are and who they become. You know, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. We talked about the vision of the church is simply this: to be disciples that are making disciples. And what did we say that the first important thing about that is? That in order to make a disciple, we have to be a disciple. Because in order to make a disciple, you're putting your impression on somebody else. You're saying, don't listen to what I say, watch how I live. That's how disciples are made. The disciples, they followed around Jesus. What did they do? They watched how Jesus lived. This watching transformed their life into the world changers that they became. It wasn't just the words that he said, it was the way that he lived. In family, we have to understand that's so important for all of us. It's not just the words we say, it's the way that we live. It becomes that example to truly be a disciple who is making a disciple.